I'm sorry. Robert, do that again, please. This sound should just follow Mitch around.
We're so mean to you.
I don't know how to take
We
that.
like you. We do like you.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah.
You like me. You really like me.
Welcome to the NerdBrand podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Jason. I'm here with Mitch, I'm here with John, and back with us is our nerd Coral.
Yay. I'm so happy to be a nerd.
Yeah, calm down. Calm down.
It's a privilege.
It is.
Yeah, so we are wanting to talk today about what is brand imagery. And I thought, well, there's really only like one person I feel that is on our team more qualified to talk about that than is
Me?
You know, not me. I am. You know what? If you get hurt in this podcast, just know workers' comp ain't going to cover it.
It should.
It should. It should. Stop it. It's Coral.
I know.
Well, thank you, Jason.
So I'm going to read this, and you're going to tell me if I got it right.
Okay.
Branded imagery is much more than headshots. What is branded imagery? Brand imagery is the tangible or intangible elements that consumers associate with the brand. It could be you, a package, an experience, a feeling, a taste, and so on. Brand imagery is visual, auditory, olfactory, or tactile, anything that makes up the feel, quote unquote, of your company.
Kind of ties back in with what we talked about a little bit in the last podcast.
Yes. So if you did not catch the last podcast episode, we had a special guest, Santa.
That's right.
And we also had Matt Jones on, who that's what we talked about. One of the quick snippets of that one was like, you know, you walk in, real estate agents showing off a house, they have cookies in the oven because they want you to not smell feet.
Yes.
Because it smells like home.
Mm-hmm.
John's looking at me going like, I got 2 kids under the age of 3. I know what you mean.
I don't know what you mean.
That's why he was looking at you.
He's smelling diapers in his house.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It smells like
He's
something that
I'm
smells like what you said earlier.
You get in the car and you're like, there's a bottle somewhere. Like, you know,
I found a few.
milk under the seat.
That's in the garbage.
Ew.
That sucks.
My kids are bigger now, but those are real days. Real days.
Yeah.
So did I get it right though?
Yeah, actually, you got it so right that when I was looking at the notes this morning, I was skimming them very quickly, and I read that first part, and I was like, yes, and I wrote like taste, feel, smell, and then later I went back and I wrote, oh, he literally wrote taste, feel, like you're so on point. We're
That's what
so
he said.
connected. Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest with you. What I had just read, Google is a fascinating thing. And so that's actually more from what is considered an industry standard definition of
Oh, how interesting. Well,
Yeah.
They didn't consult me, but if they had, I would have.
Yeah.
I would have told them.
Because olfactory is not in my vocabulary. That's another episode of a podcast about voice and tone. Because, you know, if you listen to me, like Jason doesn't really use $25 words. I barely got like $5 ones. So, you know.
No words over 2 syllables, huh?
Yeah, I ain't got that, you know.
It's okay. I know people who subscribe to like the word of the day, PSAT list, and I can't hang out with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a game for them. How can I work this really weird word in, you know?
Yeah. I knew people like that back when I would do engineering in the day. And of course, engineers are we're kind of anal and detail oriented a little bit anyway. So, but in an office, it's basically a cube farm. So you kind of get bored, you know, pretty quickly. So a lot of things like that would happen. But we always had that one person that was that, like, you knew that was his screensaver. You just knew, you know, because he would just come in and just try to sound smart and put something there together. And then after a while, you're just like, you're just saying a bunch of crap just to kind of like, go away, Steve.
Yeah.
It depends on their motive. If
Yeah.
they
Always
want to
stuff.
learn or if they want to make everybody else feel awkward because we don't know what they're saying. It depends on their motive.
Vocabulary posers that use those words, but they use them out of context.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a message from someone and been like, oh, I need to Google that word before
yeah.
you write them?
I absolutely have. I've got it from Mitch. Like, I've got those words from Mitch. Mitch will like drop one, and I'm like,
Well, name one.
I can't
Give
write
me,
it.
give me a
Can't-
for
can't
instance.
think of them because nobody's
Nobody uses
Yeah,
those
yeah,
words.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
nobody-
talking to the wrong crowd. Yeah.
Anyways, so what drove your passion to do that and go that direction as a career?
Oh, working with brand and brand experience and
Yes.
all that. Well, that's a great question. I think that it comes really kind of from two different places. I have always been a storyteller. Much to my family's chagrin when I was growing up, I always told my stories with a lot of detail. But also, growing up, my dad was in the hospitality business, so I ran around to different cool resorts and things like that, and we were always buddies with the bellman and friends with the kitchen staff, and that's just a culture that I grew up in. I love.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It just sounds like you just described a Lifetime movie, but go
Yeah.
on.
Hospitality is just, I love it. I love being able to help. I'm big on hospitality. And so I think that kind of the marriage of those two things really is what sort of led me in that direction, especially with the experience side of things. The experience of things is so important to me. I find that in my life very much outside of work as well. And when I'm describing this to small business owners, when we're talking about their brand, like with you guys and other folks, it's a concept that not everybody can grasp right away with themselves. But when you can kind of pitch it to them with something that they're familiar with, the dots sort of start to connect. And one of the examples that I always give with this is Starbucks. You could be traveling internationally, see a Starbucks siren light up sign, and before you even set foot inside that store, what it's going to smell like, what it's going to taste like, what the sound is going to be, what the customer service is. There's a feeling you can feel when just seeing the siren. And that to me is the epitome of a brand experience. And it's not just that it's quality, it's that it's consistent. Again, you could be anywhere in the world and you know what you're going to get. And
it's like a fingerprint.
yes.
And it's unique to that entity.
But it's all the senses. That's really what it is. It's connecting with people with their senses, not just having more words or more content online. It's that connection.
Yeah, it's almost like she was on the last episode, isn't it, John?
Was it?
I know.
Well,
I wasn't even here.
it folds into our kind of our mantra, which is everything's an ad. Well, from an experiential standpoint, the smell, the taste, the atmosphere, the lighting, the packaging, the signage, everything. Those are all mechanisms that promote, for better or worse, who you are and what you are. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and you live in the visual arena mostly because of that. But it's not just photography. Like, as an example to kind of hint at, it's like we started I think it was like 9 o'clock this morning. You're just sending a Slack message and you're like, what's everybody wearing? And I'm like, clean clothes? I don't really think that way.
Whatever I pull out of the dryer today?
Yeah, I'm like literally looking at my pantry going like, maybe I should, that's okay. So that's about as far as I think about that stuff. But you're like, no, what you wear, how you sit, how you stand, you're kind of thinking of in those lines.
Right.
Because a lot of people think with branding, it, like we said before on the previous show, it's like, oh, it's a logo, it's a website, it's this, it's that. No, it's not just a deliverable. It's like,
right. No, everything is an ad. There's this group I know that says that a lot, and including what you wear.
Right.
Yeah.
It all
The way
ties,
you
it all
represent.
works, it all works together.
Yeah. And even like a signature fragrance. I went through, I don't know, this is like fun Coral fact for you guys, but a couple years ago, I went to a couple different stores and was wearing out my sniffer trying to pick a perfume and was like, I need a signature smell, so when I hug people, there's this experience of,
Memorable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it really makes a big difference.
Two things come to my mind. Number one, I need to make sure of what deodorant I wear now from now on. The other one is like,
Just so long as you wear
need to make
deodorant,
sure you
that's
wear it.
fine.
No,
We
make sure you
can't
wear it.
smell it, but we know if you're not.
Yeah, that's step
yeah.
one.
yeah, that's step one. I do bathe once a week. So the other thing is like, now what does Coral smell like?
I didn't wear any today.
Okay.
We're not special.
Yeah.
I won't remember you then.
No. It's like,
Dadgummit.
yeah, we had that podcast. What episode was that? But yeah, it's sort of trying to get people to kind of, like you're saying, we're really like talking about a philosophy, a feeling. It's very hard. Like when John, you and I first got together, your mind is very much, what am I doing? What am I delivering? When? The quality of it. But then you meet me and Mitch, and we're all like philosophy, and now we brought in Coral, and now there's more philosophy,
Yeah.
and you're just like, ah!
It's like Make it beautiful.
When do I get to go to
Make
sleep?
it function. Make it effective. Make all the things, but it's got to also work. It's got to attract.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like it's got to work and it's got to attract.
Yeah, at least you have a couple.
And-
You got a couple buddies. You got Camaria and Laura. So
Yeah.
they're all on that. They're on that
I
bench.
got all y'all.
Yeah, they're on that bench too, going like, "What are we doing?" You three have said and done something.
Jonathan gets it.
Yeah,
Totally gets it. There's just also a fair amount of him that's like just tolerating. Like just
I just want to get it done.
yeah.
I enjoy seeing it
He
out
knows
there.
that everything that we brainstorm means work for him. So he can't necessarily participate in the creative conversations without already making a task list for himself.
That's
right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do.
I get you.
I'm sitting here right now.
Yeah.
trying to figure out what I need to do on Monday.
yeah. Well, I mean, we all operate internally as we do, and we all hear certain things, and so again, like if you listen to the last episode, our guest, we're talking about things you sense and feel, especially this time of year. It's not a coincidence I went that way with these episodes, and it's kind of just really nice that many, because of the way we all click as a team, you've all picked up on it and said it without me having to really try to pull it out like a dentist pulling a tooth, because that's really difficult, I would think. So that kind of lends into the dynamic of NerdBrand and the team that has been put together, because we do think along those lines. And I can't help but stare, Coral, at the notes you have, and I kind of feel like I need to shut up.
She did homework.
I don't know what part of those notes I should shut up at. And
I
let
like
you go,
to just
but
feel prepared.
yeah, that part I'm getting used to. John's typically pretty much like you said, John. You like the bullet points and everything, and I think with the podcast at first, when we first started it, it was like you probably were thinking as a marketer, like, why?
He knew why.
I didn't know what we were doing. I don't think any of us did. We kind of just showed up, on Zoom,
Yeah.
and had a festive time.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Well, I will say you guys have built something amazing, and I'm super happy to be a part of it.
Well, we're glad
Aw.
we're glad that you are. But I have rhythms to my madness. But the reason that when people meet me, like, what the heck, a little bit of it is, yeah, I'm totally a nerd. I totally flub up and do dumb crap. That's not really like planned. That's just me. And I knew,
sure hope not.
and I knew that when doing this, if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk about these types of things, and I'm a different person, later, I'm like, I can't put that face on. I'm not good with faces. I just can't. You're going to get from me what you get. And so I was like, you know what? That's kind of what people want. That's what they want to interact with.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, all these things we've touched on kind of go back to a central point, which is authenticity, which is something we've talked about before. All of these things lend credit to an authentic experience.
Yes.
If you're, you're talking about Starbucks. If the smell is the same, that aroma is the same in every store, or similar. If that feel is the same, the music you hear piped in, if the greeting you get from the barista is the same, but it's got to be authentic. It's got to be real, because people can tell when something isn't.
Right.
Or at least, at the very least, they've got to do a really good job of faking it. You know what I mean? They have to. Some people who work for your brand have to have studied it and understand it enough to communicate it, even on the days when they're not feeling it.
Well,
Feel
and
it. You gotta believe
but
in
it
it.
comes back to their mission. Their mission is to, and I don't have it memorized, but it's to impact every person, every household, every neighborhood. I mean, it goes down right to the individual, as you can see, because they put names on cups. So again, it comes back to the culture that the brand wants to create, and then the way that that's carried out.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot.
And you've been with us for about a couple months now, and I'm trying to shift the conversation away from Starbucks, because in my mind I was
Sorry.
like, John just quit drinking coffee.
I didn't drink Starbucks anymore.
So it's just like dangling in front of him. Remember this?
I still drink decaf.
I just think it's such a great example, because so many people can identify with. It's a beautiful example of how well a mission statement is being executed, and it's creating a space of community, and it's creating a place to belong, which is really what all human beings are looking for right now. And that was that may not be the direction you want to go with this, Jason, but that's where the entire world is trending with social media. Is it's looking for a place to belong, whether it's a group that they've joined or a page that they follow. businesses that they support, they don't necessarily, like, you're going to all these networking meetings. People don't want to work with NerdBrand. They want to work with Jason because maybe you're the only person from the team that they know.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where the trend has been for a while. So it's that belonging that so many businesses need to lean into with their brand.
I wonder though if we haven't always called it that. I mean, being the elder statesman at the table,
Called it what?
I mean that sense of belonging. But I do think people inherently like to be a part of something that seems, for lack of a better description, popular, because they want to. They don't want to be out. They don't. I mean, people. It's funny. You look at social media, for example. People want to be individuals, but they want to be individuals within a group of other individuals who are just like them.
Yeah, but not to get not to get like off of the tangent or anything, because we're tribal people. We identify with groups and we want to be a part of that tribe. That's why it's just innately in us.
I mean, we talk about Starbucks. Target to me comes to mind as a brand that does a very good job of having a consistent experience when you interact with their brand. But it's also a very popular brand that people. It's cool. Target is cool. You know what I mean? Walmart does killer business, but you don't ever hear anybody say they want to be part of the Walmart crowd.
A lot of people are secret Walmart shoppers.
Exactly.
Well,
That's the
because
crowd, though.
yeah,
To make fun of the Walmart.
Dirty little secret.
Batteries. That's all I buy.
I mean, but look, you've got social media, you've got marketing for this, right? Walmart doesn't care, so they don't care that there's all these things going on on social media. They're like, look this up. Look this up, like people of Walmart, right? Okay, okay, but then Target's coming out with marketing. Where does she have? She has her Starbucks cup. And she's got her shopping cart and she's smelling every single candle and she's rubbing her face and everything. Like they have a way of, it's become, I think, more of a joke, right? But it's very true.
Well, Target's always been like, here's the designer version of the coffee cup, whatever.
It's the upscale Walmart.
Yeah,
right.
Basically. But it's also creative. And, I've had brief conversations with the guy in the booth that I don't know if I'm going to talk about him anymore, but whatever. We had a conversation one day about like brands and that, like Walmart's number one and Target is a very comfortable number two, which means Target doesn't deal with a lot of the bad PR crap that goes on because nobody talks about number two, right?
Well, it's branding. And when you think
when he was pulling into a Target the moment we had that conversation too, that was kind of funny.
And it's branding. I mean, Walmart does a pretty decent job if you look at their advertising. They do a pretty decent job of there's a humility, there's a humbleness about the way they sell themselves. There's kind of very middle class, very average Joe kind of feel to their commercials and a sense of family. And you were talking about a sense of belonging and caring. It's kind of, they're very comfortable in that niche, and it doesn't necessarily rely on any particular kind of experience when you go into the store.
Right. It's about those rollback prices. It's about being family friendly. Yeah,
right.
exactly. It's about being family friendly. Target shoppers are looking for their self-care. They're looking for their retail therapy.
Yeah. Right.
They have totally
different.
they're not in competition with one another. They have completely different audiences.
Right.
Which is a great segue into who we're wanting to build into our community.
Right.
Who is our audience?
Yeah. Well, noticing pull up here on Restaurant Drive, Starbucks eyes drive-through only smaller footprint stores.
Oh, I know. I heard about this.
This makes sense because recently they've been in the pretty negative press lately with some of the employees forming a union, and then some stores, they have like 9,000 stores or something. And so it's I have the sense, and it's interesting that this article is just shown there, but I have the sense that Starbucks is about to do that dreaded, I'm going to use the word, I'm sorry, pivot.
Well,
I'm so surprised by that because their mission statement very clearly talks about just I guess you still get the experience in the drive-thru, but I'm just surprised by it because they've spent so much time building a space for people to come and hang out, alternative homes for people.
Well, the other thing too is the other successful coffee places you can think of. I mean, Heine Brothers locally is one that comes to mind. They're sort of replicating a similar experience,
right?
So people have started piggybacking on it. So they're
even McDonald's. I mean,
exactly.
Redesigned their whole store for.
I mean, they were the coffee shop. They were the senior citizen coffee shop before coffee shops were on every corner. When you think about it, who who is that guy that just goes to McDonald's and get coffee anyway?
It surprises me that Starbucks would make that move, but it
Yeah.
also surprises me that the employees would have a union because they have been ranked #1 best employer. I mean, like, I don't know how many years in a row.
Yeah.
And through the shutdown, they continued to pay all of their employees without any sort of pullback. Like, they were still paying them full time and they didn't make them go to work
Mm.
at all.
Well, we
And
could,
then
we
when-
could do a whole podcast on, and it's kind of outside our realm, but the evolution of the hospitality industry,
Mm.
and I think maybe that's part of. There's an people in the hospitality industry because of the pandemic have kind of gotten a feeling. I think that they are expendable, and they want it's become a cause, I think. And I think maybe this is an outgrowth of that. I don't know
It
for
could just
sure.
be a pivot too. They could just see that in certain areas people aren't going in like they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to see businesses pivoting through the shutdown and the changes that are happening
I
economically.
just wonder. I mean, we talk about the brand experience and how strong that association is with going into a Starbucks. Jingle, jingle.
Sorry.
For those listening on our audio version only of the podcast, Coral is wearing a very festive Christmas shirt.
Guys, it's all about the experience, okay? Okay, it's about the sounds too.
Santa already left.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, but back. I mean, what we were saying. I think if they go this direction, to me, just off my first reaction is it seems like a bit of an erosion of their brand. If they go really heavily that route,
That's what I was saying.
it becomes a completely different experience going through
Yeah.
a Starbucks
Yeah,
drive-thru.
Maybe they
Yeah.
can't find people to
The
work.
only way,
That's
this is what I
true,
told,
too.
You
Yeah.
could
this is
be
what I
hitting on
told my
something.
kids. The only way that Starbucks can do a drive-through line like only model successfully is if they employ Chick-fil-A staff. Okay,
Exactly.
because the Starbucks line
3 lanes.
is already a super long line.
and it's
So
slow.
they're gonna have to chit chat with Chick-fil-A and make
Can you
that
take some notes?
make that a double. They just need. Hey, if you're listening and you work at a Starbucks,
Yeah.
please call me.
I think I
I'll
do-
give you all my ideas, and you can pay me in beans.
You might want to be specific about what kind of beans. You never know.
I'm just
And he's like, here's some southern beans
Obviously
in a can.
baked.
Yeah, or baked beans in a can.
Cafe Verona is my favorite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. I think the idea of the power of the drive-through is going to just. I think that's one thing that we're going to see with multiple types of storefront places is that, But anyway, as we're discussing things,
Anyway,
as we're discussing things like that, I wrote in the notes, bitch. When it comes to bringing, just kind of a little bit, kind of think about ads that you've seen around New Year's and Christmas that I guess have been personal or iconic to you, or like what made that? And Mitch, I know for you, what you see, as you said, is the elder statesman at the group.
I mean, it is what it is.
Insert
own it.
all the eye rolls.
Yeah, all the eye rolls that go with that too. But what makes that ad good? Not just why you liked it.
I mean,
Like I can
The
think of the little like Hershey Kisses bells when they would do that.
and that's been
Yeah.
around a long time.
Yeah.
And it's so cute.
It is.
M&M's kind of owns Christmas these days in a lot of ways.
They're one of the
Their
more
humor.
memorable.
But I do love the Hershey one. I'll stop what I'm doing and watch it and go, oh, that was so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Love Hershey's. Like there's an affection there.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's cute. It's creative. It's just a Christmas jingle. It's not a bunch of words. It's just, it's cute.
I mean, the other thing is in the modern era is kind of the existence of holiday car advertising. Because I want to find these people that are giving Lexuses to their significant others for Christmas. I would like one.
With the big red bow.
Yeah, with a big red bow on it. I mean, they're
It has
generally
to be
very well
snowing
done.
though. If you don't live somewhere that's
Exactly.
snowing, you're not getting one for Christmas.
Exactly.
So I will tell you that is a staple in those
That is true.
commercials. So
Yeah. Yeah.
for those of us who pay attention to details like that.
Mhm.
I'm trying, and other than for some reason, and maybe it's because I've always said that people that work in the ad business are lousy kind of focus group material for things like this because we're so bombarded with it, we can't see it objectively. But by the same token, people are so bombarded with advertising now in every medium. There's so much more noise to me. It's harder for me today to pick out memorable, say, holiday ads.
Right.
because there's just so many. And because holiday ads tend to lean into the whole emotional attachment, sentimentality kind of thing, it makes it even harder to, I can't remember.
I was
Can't
thinking
remember
about
that was.
that this morning, and the only 3 commercials that could even come to my mind, one of them was the Hershey's. And
Yep.
it's, you know why? It's consistency.
Yes.
They do the same thing every
Every year.
year.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That is the key.
Yeah.
That's the key, is to build that consistency.
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes in line with what's coming up next because, some of the, like you said something about words and all that. We've talked about like terminology and how those can make you feel things, maybe. But what I want to do is switch gears to a little bit of a fun game.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And this is I didn't give you all.
I don't know what it is.
Is there going to be a clear winner or loser?
No, it's sort of like
I don't want to play.
It's
I didn't know you were so competitive.
It's so it's
It's
sort
in
of
my nature.
yeah, it's sort of like whose line is it? It's like the points don't matter.
Can we at
Oh
least give out
no,
points?
I'm
Yeah.
horrible with
Please.
like pop culture and stuff like
No,
that.
it's not
It's
pop.
not worth playing if you ain't gonna win.
It's not pop culture. But often in sales, who you're talking to is 100% unaware of the terms you're using or has an incorrect understanding of them
Oh, no.
due to previous encounters of other people that are in that industry of sales. So we're gonna play a
boy.
little bit of a game. Like for example, CSS. I know what in my head that is to you. You'd be like, I have no idea, or maybe you think customer service specialist. or something.
CSS.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
suck at this.
I'm not gonna guess if I don't
No, you're
know.
gonna
Cascading
I'm
style
old.
sheet.
I'm wise
I
enough
win.
to know.
10 points for Johnny.
What'd you say?
Cascading style sheet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been around the
It
block.
sounds
You
really
tell me.
pretty.
I knew it was a web term.
Cascading?
I invented it.
Oh, I'm so gullible.
No,
Guys,
that's actually
That's
a-
actually
that's
Oh.
actually
I
it. Yeah.
invented CSS.
I can't handle it.
No, he did not invent CSS.
Yes, I did.
CSS.
That's why I don't like sarcasm, because I fall for it every time.
Well, then you and John are not going to get along ever. So let's hear some jargon. And what do you think of when you hear it? So there's really not a wrong answer, and there's no really judgment if it is a wrong answer. But I will give you like the actual definition of it, or at least a roundabout brief one when I tell you the word. So when I say a word, you tell me what you think of. That's basically how this
The
goes.
word.
How are we
The
going
word.
to determine who answers?
I'm literally going to point you out
Okay.
and
Oh,
say
okay.
you
All right.
answer your turn.
All
You
right.
know, you're all going to get a turn for the
Oh,
same
shoot.
word.
Are you going to go?
No, because I
He
got
knows
the answers.
This
That's
is
kinda-
good.
Jonathan, that's how games work.
Yeah.
What is game?
That's like-
Someone's got to know.
What is game? What is this game you
Jeopardy
listen.
for 300 things most people like.
Yeah. It's sort of like, like Alex Trebek is like giving all the questions. I got it. Never mind. Y'all wait.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
All right, give us the first one.
Drip. Who wants to go first? You want
I'm
to go
sorry.
first?
Okay, hold on a minute now. I
Drip.
need to
Listen.
re-understand the rules of the game.
Is it
Is this
related
an
to marketing?
acronym, or is this the first thing that comes into my mind?
This is stop it, Mitch. This is marketing jargon. I saw you glance.
Cheating, Mitch.
Oh
It
my-
was right there. I couldn't help but see it. I didn't have to
Oh
go out. It's not like I had to go out of my. It wasn't like I went. Hey, what is this?
Wandering
Sit in your-
eyes.
Stay in your chair, sir.
Man, that's going to be
Okay,
an audio
let me
nightmare
read-
there.
let me-
Like, holy crap.
She
Okay.
tried to go back. at
Let
least.
me understand. Thank you.
It is marketing jargon that we're talking
Oh,
about.
marketing.
Okay.
Okay.
So it is
okay.
not like just like, oh no, for a plump.
okay.
No, it's not randomized. It is
Okay.
marketing jargon.
Okay.
Because it's something we see. That's why I brought up
Oh,
CSS, because
boy.
it's something we always hear in our industry.
This might be a good time for me to remind our listeners that I don't really consider myself in the marketing world.
Why are you here? Just kidding.
Because I am
Just kidding.
passionate about brand.
There we go.
I am passionate about
that's where-
that.
Because that's where we all start.
That's
is
right.
with branding.
That's
well,
right.
and that's why we talked about brand imagery, because
Right,
it's very new to
right,
people.
right.
We've had past episodes
Yes.
about brand positioning, myself and Mitch. So
Yes.
we don't try to introduce new terms to confuse people, but the marketing world seems to
Yes.
really just absolutely excel at this. And that's why it was so
Right,
easy to
right,
pull these
right,
out and be like,
right. I know. Well, so
Okay.
much of what I do is really upstream of probably the implication
Yeah.
of most of these, but that's all right. Let's do
yes,
Let's
it
go.
is. It
Let's
is.
go.
But a lot of people that are listening are going to be like, I've heard that.
Mhm.
Somebody
Upstream,
said
jargon.
it. Yeah. See?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the word.
It's visual actually. So
Yeah. But the word. Okay. God, I'll get to the first one eventually.
Someone let the man host.
Mitch, you go first. When
Oh,
you
no.
hear from a marketing jargon perspective, when you hear the word drip, I know John's probably going to get this, but
Mm.
when you hear drip, what do you think? What it
What
comes?
comes to mind? Okay, I probably don't know the King James Version definition. But to me, when I hear it,
oh, Lord have mercy.
when I hear that, to me, what it means, it's the when you drip is the way that you release.
Just say you don't
Oh, my
know,
word.
Mitch. Damn.
All right, skip him. Come to me. I
I'm
don't
just
know
kidding.
either.
You had
Go
it.
to
You had
Jonathan.
it. No, let him finish.
It's the way you release
Yeah, you got it.
marketing into the marketplace. It's not the tempo or the pace at which you release it out.
Cadence.
You don't throw it out all at once. You
Think
put it
about a
out
certain channel.
you put it out in different channels at different increments.
Okay.
Am I close?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
I have
that's
no idea.
accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So John's kind of like, yep. And you?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
I've never. I mean,
John's actually confirmed it. It is content related. It's for release. So
It's
Okay.
usually for
cool.
emails.
See, Mitch knew.
Oh, is it?
It's like email marketing. They're called drip campaigns. So
Oh, wow.
when somebody signs up, you drip them one email.
You drip
Then-
them on email.
You can.
When
I
someone
mean,
signs up, you drip them on email. All right, I'm going to start adding that to my vocabulary.
it's a drip
All my friends
campaign.
are going to be like, "You're the worst now that you joined the nerds. You're the."
We're sorry.
I think, I think the
You
term,
were correct.
but I think the term can work probably in any kind of
You can. You
Medium.
can drip out a sequence of blog posts.
right.
It's not. You don't fire hose people with all the info.
Right.
You drip it out.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard fire hose. It's all coming together, guys. Makes sense.
See,
I'm glad I could be here
It's
to
the
help.
opposite of that. Got it.
Funny thing, fire hose is next on the list.
See, I told you, I have a rhythm to my madness.
Oh, is it on there? I know
Because
what.
I knew that. Well, I just knew that if I picked this, I like John's going to be like, burp. There it is. You know.
Give me
I
more
know
clues,
everything.
John.
I know everything.
Give
Come
me
on.
more clues.
Yeah. So here's another one for you. Now this is a phrase, and it's called going live. What do you think of? We'll start with Coral this time. 'Cause,
Okay.
Mitch, you
I-
took like
I-
4 days to answer.
Aw.
I was just trying to give a thoughtful response.
That's how elder
Aw.
statesmen speak. sorry.
Going live.
Yeah.
My understanding of that is within different platforms like social media where you can be live action. There's engagement, there's interaction. It's not something that's recorded and released later. It's happening in real time.
Okay,
Mhm.
John.
That's true.
Could also be when you finally get your NerdBrand website published and you go live.
That's true.
Okay.
There's a lot of different meanings.
It can't. Yeah.
To me, it's going live on Facebook. You're starting a live
Right.
video,
Kind of like I
feed.
was saying.
Mhm.
but that's
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you could also go live with a website.
Yeah.
Similar to launch.
I hope I got.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so the
Oh.
answer defined by and these did come from not me just sitting down and making these up, by the way, but it is
Sure.
He's gonna
related.
tell us we're wrong, but he doesn't want to hurt our feelings.
It
He's
is
blaming Google.
related to a website launch. But
Good luck, Robbie.
but it is totally relevant to what the two of you that exist in that world on the social side and social media. That it's let's go live. It's like that production. Like here we go. We're live.
Any kind of
I
ad-
think that's how most consumers would understand the
Mhm.
word.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
any kind of advertising campaign goes live
Mhm.
when you launch it. I mean, it's similar to launch.
Bill
Yeah.
O'Reilly goes live.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that. All right, here's the next one. Hamburger menu.
I'm hungry.
What?
I know what that is. I know what that is.
I know what it is because you said it the other day and I heard you say it. I store things that you say, even though I don't respond to them in the moment.
Yeah, I'm watching right now to see if that's actually BS or if that's true.
I heard you talk about the little hamburger menu. You're talking about the little icon. If you get on a website on your phone, the little mobile, there's the little square with the 3 little lines,
Mhm.
and that everybody kind of recognizes that as the menu on mobile.
Mhm.
So-
Ding, ding, ding.
Is it always just a question? Is it? I've seems like maybe I'm misremembering, but I've seen them on desktop sites
Mhm.
too.
Yes,
That
Oh,
can
really?
be.
yes, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the correct answer. It is a mobile. It's the mobile menu. It's called a hamburger menu.
I mean, I know that's
That
where
can
this
be
started.
on
I didn't know it was
desktops, too.
called that. I thought that was just what you
It's
called
kind
it.
of
Mhm.
interesting
Nope.
how that happened. How it migrated.
Yeah. Now here's one that is this is not it's marketing in a way, but it's usually used on a conversation. I can hint you if you want, but I'm going to
Can
say
I phone a friend?
and you can ask for a hint on this one because when I came across it, I was like, I got to put this in here. Teething problem.
Mm.
Marketing related?
Kind of. It is in the marketing related, but
That's
think
interesting.
you want a hint? Should I do that?
No, I just want the answer.
Okay, well, think budget, think money.
Teething problem.
You have a teething problem.
A startup with no money. I don't know.
Because it does speak to young, as in newborn, as in, well, not necessarily.
All I hear
newborn,
is
but
crying.
baby. Yeah.
In my head right now.
You guys are like, I'll tell you, you guys are like really close.
A lot of drooling,
Yeah.
It would-
some
it would-
ear infections.
Yeah.
To me, it would
Yeah.
seem
I
like
thought you
it
said urine
seems
infection for a second. I was like, wait, no, yeah, I got you.
Wow.
drink more water.
What?
Wow. And yeah, thanks, Robert, for putting up pictures of babies on the TV.
I don't need that.
Look at that. This is so cute.
I get enough of that at home.
I will say it probably relates to a young business.
Yes, it's the beginning phases of a venture.
Would it be the painful growth?
Yeah, it is. That is also the context as well for that. So yes, you have a teething problem. You know, you're kind of trying to start out. It's the beginning of it. You know, it's kind of like a lot of pains and trying to get going. You know, and so that's it. But it's usually sometimes some people in sales will say, "Oh, you have a teething problem."
Has anybody heard that in real life?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard
I
it
think
used in
that's
that
lame.
context.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
next
just
one.
asking. If somebody said that to me, I would leave.
I would be like, yeah, I would question.
Well, it gives you
I would-
flashbacks, so
I would-
I get it.
All right. Well,
Not
okay.
even flashbacks. It was
I would question our
They-
compatibility if someone said that when I was speaking to them.
All right. Well, how about this one? Smarketing.
Oh God.
Well, I think
Tell us
know.
how you feel, Mitch.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that crap. Where they'll take two words and kind of mash them together to make some kind of marketing jargon or something. It's like, ugh, goes right through me.
Okay. Well, Coral, your answer?
Smarketing.
I think it means smart marketing.
That was my guess, but I was going to ask what is.
Yeah, I
This is
think-
Strategic?
It's actually aligning. Yes, it is strategic. Aligning your sales and marketing teams. That's just a fancy way. Now, this is actually something.
Don't do that.
This was something that was coined by HubSpot.
Of course.
So it's pretty old, but it's like I remember its usage because when your reaction, I was like, yeah, I had the same one.
I can see somebody in a meeting and they say, I've got it. Smarketing.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
HubSpot.
And everybody at the table's going, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, HubSpot was started by, salespeople, not,
Yeah.
it's unlike SEMrush, which was developers. It's just different. So here's
It's catchy.
yeah. Here's another one for you. This is a phrase as well. This is one that I don't particularly like myself. So thought leader.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super trending.
Yeah.
Very trending.
And, everybody's reaction is just like, it's not even an answer. It's just like, oh, jeez.
It's very current.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert, for finding teething problem definition up there. I just caught that. Sorry. It's like small problems that happen at the beginning stages of a business.
Hey Robert,
Hmm.
If you're going to be giving away the answers, you need to give me a heads up
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's sort of behind me.
I'm completely blocked by a lie, which is really unfair.
Yeah. But yeah, thought leader.
It's not usually their original thought. They're just one of the first people to get out there with it loud.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
leading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
but it's
one.
good. It's good.
Yeah, this is one where there's not a wrong. I don't feel like there's a wrong answer because it just kind of.
It kind of it alludes to being the first to come out with an idea, the first to promote an idea.
Well,
Intellectual
or-
property or.
Right, but also sets a trend
Mm-hmm.
that people start latching onto.
Yeah. It's sort of like they have authority on that topic. Or at
And
least
they're-
like perceived.
And they're
Yeah, yeah, that's
monetizing
good.
that. They're monetizing it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
probably,
they're
that,
egotistical.
probably
and
that
they're,
too.
and they're egotistical.
So, what about what do you think about in this vein of marketing jargon when somebody says reach out?
That's a term.
Yeah, I am.
Reach out.
That's
Uh,
more
that's-
sales to me.
yeah, like a touch.
Reach out if you need
yeah.
to.
If you need anything, just reach out. Here's
or
my
I
card.
use that every
I'm-
week. Is
I'm
does
familiar
that mean jargon?
No.
With this, some of the different networking organizations that I've been a part of have had some of their seats filled by multi-level marketing organizations, and I know that they can be very specific about the number of reach outs that they think that it takes to achieve a sale. And they say usually on average 6 reach outs to get a sale.
She got it.
So, yeah. Oh my god.
Yep. All right. What about this one?
I'm
It-
winning. I thought
You
I would
get
be in
chocolate.
last place.
You get the
I thought
chocolate
it
you
would
brought.
So a reach out is like a touch.
It's a
Let's
touch
do a
point.
game every
Yeah.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You
What
have to
about
touch
that?
that person, although it sounds less personal, I guess.
I
Or
do
just
like
move on.
touches
Move
more, but it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah.
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 So, yeah, because I mean, in sales, I mean, every time, like, if you just pass somebody at a coffee shop that's a prospect, that could be considered or counted as a touch if you wanted. If you just have a conversation with them because you're in front of them, you got in front of them, so you're still
Right.
keeping and nurturing that lead.
Right.
All different kinds of touches.
Yeah, that's
All
why-
the touches.
Yeah,
Not all the touches.
It's starting to fall apart, Jason.
yeah.
Move
starting
on.
starting
Move
to
on.
starting
My
to
my
devolve.
mind is starting
We're
to wander.
decaying.
Please move on.
I don't know if this one's going to make it any better, but deep dive.
That's not going to make it better.
That didn't help.
All righty.
Move on to the
Okay.
next
A deep. Well,
Mitch is going to go for it, so I'm going to let him.
Dive on in.
it's when you look thoroughly deep into a set of data or something like
Person's
that.
eyes.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When you analyze you go through
Coral's broke, so I ain't even going to bother to ask her.
Skipped
you analyze data very very deeply.
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
Take a
Right.
deep
Yeah.
dive
Take a deep
into
dive,
the
yeah.
problem.
Right.
Right.
You immerse yourself.
Yes, you got
Sure.
it. You got it.
That.
I sarcastically wrote on there scuba, but yeah, because that's another term. That
What's
kinda,
scuba stand for?
Yeah, scuba diving, man.
Oh, I used to
Self-contained.
underwater breathing apparatus.
Stop it! I was getting it.
That is not on
Does
here
it
as a
really?
question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an acronym.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
Scuba.
It was like when I was like going after like getting simple IRA set up
Also
for the
called
company.
skin diving.
Like simple was an acronym. Like it's not just simple IRA because it's
Oh.
simple. Simple's an actual thing. And I was like,
Oh.
oh,
Did not know that
yeah.
either.
There's weird stuff out there that's just like, oh, and we just kind of know it as a branded thing. See, I
Fubar.
brought it back. I brought it
Fubar.
back. Yeah, Fubar.
Break it down for us.
No.
Okay.
What's next?
Effed up beyond all recognition is what FUBAR means.
There you go.
I
Is
never
that
heard
a
of
marketing
FUBAR.
term?
It can be.
Yeah, we kind of use it in web, I think, a little bit too.
Snafu.
Not that one.
You've used it once. I think
Mhm.
when we very first started hanging
Situation normal.
out. You broke that down for me.
All up.
Okay, next one is everybody's favorite, I'm
Mitch is
sure.
decaying.
Pivot. Pivot. What do you
Pivot.
think of when you think of
Friends.
Pivot.
That's what I do. I do that. I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm saying that's what I do. I think of like
Yeah.
pivot. Like, yeah, those
Change direction.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's usually when it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Or
there you
you-
go.
You're
Or it-
otherwise
or
stuck.
It can be a lot. You're changing direction in a logical progression. So you'll reach a
Hopefully.
certain point, then you'll pivot into another direction because that is the next logical step.
Yeah. Yeah. And this one, John will like hyper local marketing. Just sleep.
Fell asleep.
Hyper local.
Hyper local.
Yes.
I don't know.
Hyper local marketing. I always love
What's
that
the difference
term.
between local and hyper local?
That's the point why I put it on there. And I didn't even bother like putting down the meaning of it because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was
It's
like, really?
I guess if local means in a certain city,
Mm-hmm.
hyper local means a certain block or a certain neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just call it local still.
Yeah, it's still local.
Yeah, I would call it still local too, but you're probably closer to the actual, probably the tactic, because
Or zip code.
yeah, because you get into like programmatic stuff,
Yeah,
like
Drawing a box around a store.
yeah. I mean, we don't talk about geofencing and well, there's a difference between geotargeting and geofencing. We're way different. But yeah, I would imagine that would fit in with that vein of tactic when you're paying that kind of money for that kind of advertising, which is also a good clue if you're paying for real geofencing versus geotargeting. By the way, the
Mhm.
budget,
There
the
is a
spend,
difference.
yeah, the spend is like, oh my god, yeah, that'll hurt the pocketbook a bit. So, but yeah, that's it. That's
Who won?
Great
that's-
game.
You know what? I'll have to go back and
Did we
listen
pass?
because I don't know, man. Coral like blew my eardrums out like
I'm sorry.
3 times, but and either way though, but you can kind of see like what we were talking about, the power of words, like what did it make you feel? Like we know that Mitch nearly threw up twice, John fell asleep, Coral screamed. I mean,
Only
it's
when
just,
you mash two words together to make some stupid piece of jargon. That really,
You're still mad, aren't you?
I think it was a great
I just don't
game.
like
yeah, thank you.
Very, very educational.
Yeah.
it's
I'm sorry. Robert, do that again, please. This sound should just follow Mitch around.
We're so mean to you.
I don't know how to take
we
that.
like you. We do like you.
Yeah. There we go. There you go. I don't mean, yeah.
You like me. You really like me.
That's what happens when I don't burn food. I need that to follow me. Like, yay! It's like, look, you can
Well, when
mess
you don't
up.
try to cook spaghetti in the air fryer, you'll
Yeah.
have a lot more success.
Oh my God, you brought that up, but you're right. I have messed
my
up.
goodness gracious.
He told
I
me
had to bring it up.
He told me to get an air fryer, and I did. And I thought, well, this will make my life easier, so I'll just put stuff in it and mix things.
It's
And
not a microwave.
Chicken.
No.
Fried objects.
No.
Not spaghetti.
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't do spaghetti, but I did do the chicken, and it didn't come out, and neither did the pizza or anything else. It's
I'm
Oh
not.
boy.
I shouldn't cook.
Want
That's
me
the
to
point.
buy it off you?
Sure, if you want, but I
I
don't.
don't.
I think you got. I think you got a better. I think you got a better one than I do. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the NerdBrand podcast.
Last podcast of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you had to say that.
I know. I just
I would love
Happy
to
New
hear.
Year.
I would love to hear everyone's favorite, like Christmas holiday ad. We just barely touched on that. You talked
Good
about the
Lord,
Hershey
there's
Kisses.
so many.
Yeah.
What are the things that stick in your mind?
I mean, honestly, for me, the Hershey Kisses, for me, the reason I can tell you the reason why you guys are thinking about your favorites. When I was younger in church, they would have like the bells that people would do and
Right.
ring,
Mm-hmm.
and then so whenever I see that commercial and I see how they're handled, I think of that.
Well, that's what they are. They're
Yeah,
bells.
yeah, right. And
Yeah.
it just takes me back to that weird time in a Baptist church when people would get up there at the top, and you're just kind of watching them go with the white gloves go.
So they're pulling on the comfy, cozy, nostalgic reverence. I mean, they're pulling on
Mhm.
the entire sacred cathedral experience that you've had by just putting a couple Hershey Kisses on the screen and making them have that same movement.
There you
See,
go.
that's powerful. That's good.
She stole your $5 word, but you want to.
That's perfectly all right. I love vocabulary. I love words. I don't know if it counts as a favorite, but I've got a lot of good childhood memories around Christmas and TV commercials because I grew up in that generation where we were glued to all the TV specials, the Charlie Brown Christmas special, the Grinch,
Yes.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, when those were
Right.
all on broadcast television. And you got bombarded with all kinds of ads during that time. Kraft
Yeah.
used to do tons of ads. All the different products they make that made all these great holiday dishes and stuff, and how special that felt. You can almost smell it or taste it, and that sense of family and everybody being around the table. There was one other one. This is going to be really off the wall. They used to broadcast a lot during
On this
that time.
podcast, really?
I'm just continuing the trend then. One of the electric razor companies did an ad, and it was Santa Claus riding on one of these electric razors through a snowy
What?
kind of
Oh, I remember this.
landscape? Kind of a- yeah.
landscape. And the thing is that it seems to me in my memory it fit really well with like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special because of the way it was animated.
Mm-hmm.
This was done in a very similar fashion. So it was
Oh.
it
It
was
was like a
per-
claymation of Santa on a giant brawn.
No, it wasn't. Braun wasn't. It was. I can't. Norelco. It was Norelco. It was Norelco.
I was thinking Gillette. You thought wow, out of nowhere, Braun.
It was Norelco because Norelco was the first electric razor had like the 3 little round wheels on the face of it
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you shave with.
Yeah.
And but it came bounding over the snow and Santa was riding it, and I always thought that looked so cool. I want to ride that thing.
So if anyone's wondering what to get Mitch for Christmas, it's a snowmobile. Have
Pretty
you ever
much.
done that? Have you ever been somewhere snowy and rented the?
No,
Yeah.
I've wanted to
You
because it looks
should
like
do
so
it.
much fun.
It's so fun. They
This
let
is a good one. You just put one up on the screen. That's the Camel's commercial. Yeah, where
Oh.
the kid
Yeah,
comes in. Actually, it's like a snowman comes in from outside
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good
Uh-oh,
pull.
that's
and sits
I
down at the
remember.
table, gets that nice steaming bowl of chicken noodle soup, and the snow slowly melts away, and there's a little boy underneath.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That was
You've never seen
brilliant.
that?
that was a good one. That was a good
no,
one.
It's been a
I
while.
do think
Mhm.
I've seen that. I forgot
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's John, you got one? You've had
The only one that sticks with me or like jumps out is the M&Ms where they discover he does exist.
Yeah, the Santa
And
Claus.
he
Yeah,
says they do exist.
They do.
he does
That's
exist.
right.
and
That was
Santa
so
faints.
cute.
That's like the only Christmas one I can remember.
That's such a cute
until
one.
I see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the M&Ms see Santa
Mm-hmm.
and they say, "Oh my gosh, he does exist." And then Santa sees the M&Ms and he goes, "Oh my gosh, they do exist." It's
and then
cute.
he passes out.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah. Coral, what about you? You got one?
I like the Coca-Cola polar bears.
Yeah.
So
See, Coca-Cola
It had
always
to be
makes
I
it
don't,
in.
I don't drink Coke, but I love the polar bear. So you were talking about the old commercials. I mean, or the old the claymations and the
Mhm,
classics, right,
right.
on cable TV. So we had them all
Mhm.
recorded on VHS. So year after year, I not only watched those movies, but I watched the same
You
commercials.
watch the same
Oh my
commercials.
God. And the
Yep.
commercials, honestly, so many of them are what came to my mind, even just when I think about Christmas movies, because they were always a part of it. And I love that those polar bears have been a part. I love polar bears in general, but I love the way that they do those commercials. I think they're so cute. I look forward to them. The ones without the dialogue, kind of
Yep.
like the Hershey's. I
Mhm.
think they're sweet. They're so cozy. And
They're telling a
again,
story.
I don't even drink
Happiness.
Coke, but
Yeah,
I
they're
like it.
telling a story in that commercial.
Yeah.
It kind of whenever I see those commercials, it reminds me of Up, the movie Up. Where you like cry for the first 10 minutes and then you just whatever.
I think one of the things that I like about look at him, see how cute he is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Polar
do.
bears don't drink
Not an
Coke.
accurate
They're so
representation.
sweet though. I know the blue hue on
I'm
them
serious.
bothers
Do
me.
not attempt.
I wish they had less blue in them. But I
Blue is
like
cold.
I like the way that the
Sells horror
companies
movies.
will sort of reach into like the coziness of your home. You know what I mean? Like it's not your typical
Mm-hmm.
Coke. It's a whole nother nostalgia. It's like seeing another side, another personality of the brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
Well, it's also a kind of a thing where, I mean, what has not been said about Coca-Cola over the last 100 years that can be said? It meets that challenge. It's like it's a different way of expressing the feeling, the good feeling.
It's the only time that you look at a Coke and go, "Oh, they
Aw.
like us."
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, "Oh, they don't.
Yeah.
It's so bad for your health."
Yeah, the last podcast of
All that
2021
sugar, all that,
finishes
all
with
that
Coke.
corn syrup.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
I was happy to talk about Starbucks because it wasn't Coke.
Oh,
We
no.
keep talking about Coca-Cola.
Oh no, do you like Coke?
Nonstop.
We just keep
I'm fine.
we keep like
It's like the brand we keep bringing up.
Well, and
Yeah.
at Christmas, I mean,
It's okay.
They
It
should
used to
pay
be
us
Apple.
royalties.
well, it used to be Apple. We used to bring that
Mhm.
up a lot. Then we brought up Marvel, and Mitch yelled at me for bringing up Marvel again. But so Coke is a nice break. So next year's Pepsi.
I got a Pepsi commercial that I love. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's a really old school Coke machine, soda machine, whatever
Mhm.
you call it. And this child comes in and he's got 3/4. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It might have been like a Super Bowl ad or something, but he comes
that
in.
was a good one.
He comes in, he puts his quarter in the machine, and he presses Coke. It's like near the bottom of all the little buttons you got to press. And he gets his Coke out and he sets it on the ground. And he gets his second quarter and he puts it in the machine. He chooses his Coke and he puts it down on the ground.
Mhm.
He gets his third quarter, he puts it in the machine, and then he climbs and he stands on top of the Cokes so that he can reach the Pepsi button.
Yeah.
He gets his Pepsi and he walks away.
And leaves
And he leaves the Cokes there. And it's like so savage.
Oh,
But
yes.
it's like so satisfying.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think consumers love that too.
Yeah.
We
There are-
love the way that big brands sort of tease each other. We
Well-
like that. We like that rivalry. We like that,
That's
there's-
that's coming back with Burger King and McDonald's, I think, right now.
There's a value to being number two. Never underestimate the value of being number two. It gives you so much more room to play
Yeah.
because you've got a target to shoot at. If you're number one, you're just trying to maintain.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? How do we keep saying how good we are when we're already number one?
Yeah.
You're number two, you've got something to shoot for. You've got that target. You've got something to aim at.
Yeah.
It's always going to be more fun to advertise for number two than it is for number one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll take number 5. I'm fine with
No,
that.
yeah.
That's
Number
like-
one has bigger budgets.
It goes back
Yeah.
it goes back as far as
Slightly.
the old TV advertising for Hertz Rent-A-Car in the 70s. No, sorry. Avis. Because Hertz was like number one, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Avis was number two. So you know what their slogan was? We try harder.
Oh, well, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, we do have to try harder.
Yeah, there's but from a messaging standpoint, it's easier, I think, to develop campaigns when you're not at the top of the heap
Mhm.
because you're fighting very hard to keep that to stay there.
Yeah.
So what we can do is just sit and spend all your time talking bad about the people that are clawing at your heels. No. So what are we going to do? We're really good. You should continue to come enjoy us. I guess.
Yeah. And there's brands that I think that are facing that still. And,
Oh.
it's a thing. So that's that for 2021, I guess, unless y'all have anything. You wanna-
Happy New Year.
Happy
Yep.
New Year. Yeah. We made it through. That's kind of everybody's
You should
read.
start your 2022 off by having the nerds take a look at your brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make some suggestions.
Yeah.
We're passionate about it.
Time for a fresh start.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
rid of your stock images. There you go.
Exactly.
please.
See, I told you he had my back.
Yeah.
You need images that reflect who you really are,
what
not
you
who somebody
need,
everybody else is.
What you need is someone who has your best interest in mind,
Yeah.
even if that's just to give you a fresh opinion.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and we do have a new refresh of our own brand coming. The site, content, Coral, you've done some work already with Imagery for us. So, we live it as much as we try to preach it. So when you're interacting and engaged with us, it's not like we're telling you from some mountaintop. Like, no, we're doing it too. We're living it too. So that's how we're able to do what we do. But we're right there because I think every brand is. It's just like you said, John, some have larger budgets than others. That's all. And maybe more people on the team. But other than that, the problems, the struggle, the thing is the same in that way. So 2022, let's make it a lot of fun. Yeah, contact the nerds at NerdBrand. You can find us at nerdbrandagency.com/podcast to listen to this podcast, or you can find us across all of the interwebs on social at NerdBrand Agency. That is the handle we prefer. No, we do not have a custom URL yet for YouTube.
You
YouTube
want one.
it is a very tough channel to get a vanity URL for. Extremely tough, and they're even getting harder about like what qualifies you for monetization now as well. So, for those out there trying to reach into that and, grab some of that gold rush that is kind of happening with social media, call us, talk to John, talk to Coral and Mitch, and just kind of like pause for a moment because you could end up spending a lot of time and money.
Time better spent doing other things in your business.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really the thing that we really want to try to emphasize to people, that time is something you can't make more of course. We all know that. But don't get too distracted with the TikToks and the Snapchats and the Twitters and stuff. Let's sit and have a discussion about what actually would work. But anyways, thank you for listening, and thank all of you for following us and commenting over the last year and a half. I mean, this is episode 86,
87.
87.
87.
Yeah, I should look at the notes
Maybe.
that I wrote. Yeah, no, it is. But yeah, 87 episodes. So it's kind of been a blur that we started out with the three of us and then just, how things expanded. I mean, we added Laura Burnside as our web designer and developer, and then we added Camaria Campbell as our social strategist, but then also kind of morphed into an account associate for John. And then the latest, is Coral Abood for brand imagery and consultancy. So it's sort of been all the pieces have fallen in place ever since Mitch and I had 2-hour conversation
In a parking lot.
in a parking lot at a place that we weren't.
Isn't
happy.
that where some of the best conversations happen? You're super late for wherever you were supposed to be going to,
Yeah.
but you've just
Yeah.
conquered the world
Yeah.
right there
Yeah.
in that parking lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where you turn and you think, we stop, and it's like, you know what we ought to do?
It really was. It's like we could do this better.
You know what we ought to do?
We've actually got more
Some
experience.
good ideas go down in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Instead of standing here bitching about the way everybody else is doing it,
Yeah. No, it's
we
true.
should do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Put our money where our mouth is, and then
I'm glad you guys did.
yeah.
And thanks for having me today.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I think you're an excellent piece to add to the show for just the liveliness, and for those listening, I'm sure they'll have fun with their radio dials on the volume. But it's
sorry.
been really,
Radio?
radio. Yeah,
Robert's going to fix it.
yeah. Robert to fix it. I still
Let
say
me walk over to the Victrola. They're getting awful loud over there.
I know. I
That's
just
the daily life of Mitch.
yeah.
All right, you
why
nerds,
you
let's
were
wrap
so
it up.
All right,
I gotta
everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate all of you. Appreciate everybody here at NerdBrand. Appreciate the Speakeasy Podcast Network for taking care of us, and
Yep.
you, Robert, in the booth. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
He's a rock star.
And to everybody out there, remember, keep your NerdBrand strong.